G'day, Chief. Welcome to the Inner Chief podcast and this special episode, which we call the Mini Chief. These are short, sharp highlights from our fabulous CEO guests, where you get a 5 to 10 minute snapshot of the highlights from their episode. Righto, Chief. Without further ado, here is the Mini Chief episode for this week with Rob Patterson.
What about moments of doubt?
Yeah, I think we all have those. Probably my most significant moment of doubt was when I first moved into law. Within a couple of months, I vividly remember sitting up at level 44 in the Nauru House thinking, what the hell have I done? I had imagined that law was very similar to accounting firms and was run along very similar lines, and it's not. It's a professional services firm, so maybe some of the fundamentals are the same, but it was a very different environment. Yeah, and I doubted whether I'd made the right choice. So that was it was quite interesting.
How do you get through those moments, though, Rob? I mean, you fought on and it was ended up being the right choice. How do you get through those moments?
Yeah, it's a saying that I often use with my team is I try to find what my true north is. What is it I'm trying to achieve? You know, and in that example, what was it I was trying to do with that law firm? And then just for a while, put your head down, put one foot in front of the other, and then look up after a while, and it's amazing how far you've progressed. I think if you spend too much time worrying about the outcome and not about the process, then you just create anxiety, lack of focus. So work out where you're going and then put your head down and march towards it, and then look up at appropriate junctures.
Yeah, and you might not always have been walking in the exact right direction, you know, but at least you're making some moves and you've got momentum. I think one of the worst things with confidence and knowing what to do is stalling and then doing nothing.
Yeah, inertia's a disaster, you know. Yeah. When you're stuck on the spot. That's right. I think even if you make a step and it's the wrong one, you learn from it, you get feedback.
Yeah.
But if you stay where you are and keep on trying to do the same thing, it's not going to serve you well.
Yeah, that's right. And I think one of the goals, is just have a good strike rate in decision making. You know, if you make 7 or 8 out of 10 good decisions, hey, you're doing pretty damn well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because I think most people, you know, a lot of people who really battle in business more strike rate at about 200 or 300 rather than 7 or 8. And I think that's an important thing to remember is just do something and move and learn and ask people, and that will hold you in good stead in the longer term.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be afraid of making mistakes.
So, Rob, what advice would you give to someone who is stuck in their career? They're not sure of the next move. They're maybe stalled in their growth. What do they do?
What I would suggest is I'd start with a bit of fact-finding. So, okay, I'm stalled. I'm not going anywhere. Best person to ask, assuming you've got a reasonable relationship with your boss. Where am I at? What do I need to do more of? If you don't have a good relationship, maybe your boss's boss.
Yeah, agreed. Well, look, I know I'm a very big believer that if you're a professional services firm of one, which is what most people really are, and you sell your services full time to the company you work for, therefore your customer is who? Your boss is your number one customer. So that's the first person to ask, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. Yeah, and hopefully your boss has got the confidence to give you honest feedback. And maybe it's up to you to create that environment.
I think you've got to own it. Right? Otherwise, if you're not getting feedback about your career and not sure why you're not going anywhere, then there's something wrong.
Absolutely. So that's where I'd start, you know, and then maybe a bit of self-reflection as well. You know, as I found with insolvency, it wasn't right for me. Maybe if you're stalled, part of the journey is to ask whether you're really enjoying what you're doing and whether it's suited to your strengths. And if it is, great. But if it isn't, maybe you do need to think about where next.
Yeah, the right role is so important, absolutely vitally important. Okay, what drives you at a deeper level to succeed?
Yeah, look, one of my drivers, and I think it's fair to say this isn't symptomatic of my whole life. I'm less than perfect in most of my aspects of my life. But I think in work and with business, I hate doing a half-assed job. In fact, I won't do a half-assed job. If that's what it's going to be, I won't do it. I'll move on. So I think what's always driven me is just how do I do what I'm doing at an amazing level? What do I need to do to really, really succeed in this role and set about doing it? I think that's what drives me. Yeah, absolutely. And at some level, that's definitely perfection. I like to do things really well. But I think it's probably the way I went about my sport as well. But it's certainly not how I go about my gardening. And the dead plants are a testimony to that.
You can't be good at everything, Rob.
No.
Even Superman had his kryptonite.
Righto, Chief. There you have it for this week with our mini Chief episode.
All the links and resources for this episode can be found at chiefmaker.com/351.
Chief, one of the biggest challenges in all leadership roles is how to influence stakeholders. The difficult, the easy, the elusive, all sorts of stakeholders, board members, executive teams, clients, suppliers, the media, the community. And if you want the definitive guide on how to think about it, how to set yourself up and prepare for it, how to run through and map your stakeholders, and how to finally influence with integrity, go to chiefmaker.com/stakeholder for a fully editable PDF guide on mastering stakeholder influence. That's chiefmaker.com/stakeholder.
And if you would like to stay in touch and hear all about some of the best resources you can find anywhere in the world to improve your performance at work, go to chiefmaker.com/subscribe. Now, Chief, if you're yet to rate the episode and subscribe, I hope you'll do so soon. It helps others see the magnificent value that the chiefs and gurus bring to their life and career. So make sure you hit subscribe on your podcast app now, give it a 5-star rating if you think it's worthy, and leave a short review about your favourite episode. Righto, Chiefs, as always, remember to stay epic.